So today we got a risk taker that's joining us. He has over 20 years of experience in personal training and massage therapist. He's a 3-time winner in Walton County. I want to make sure I tell you this too. He's one of the biggest unknown personal trainers in the South and also one of the biggest unknown massage therapists in the South. And he has over 20 years of experience in both. So today I want to introduce you to, ladies and gentlemen, my big cousin, Taliaferro. What's going on, my guy?
What's going on, cuz? Good to see you. Appreciate you for having me on.
Definitely. Today we're going to get into a little bit of everything. You know, most of this we're going to talk about discipline for one.
Yeah.
Training, becoming a morning person. We was talking yesterday, last night. You said you've been getting up at 5 a.m. for over what, 10 years?
Oh yeah. Man, the main thing, one of the main things with personal trainers is a lot of commitment. You know, a lot of people can get up and do it for a week, 3 months, 6 months, but to be successful in the personal training industry, you got to be committed to the cause. You know, I've been getting up. I have a full-time job. I'm also a sales rep for a printing company, so I've kind of used that to balance around, build that around my personal training career. Gotcha. And so for the last 10, 15 years, I've gotten up at 5:30 in the morning and train, and then go to work, and then I've got off work at 5 o'clock and trained to 8:30 at night, 6-7 days a week. So that's
dedication.
Yeah.
So what gives you that drive, that motivation to get up every morning, even though some mornings you don't even want to get up, but you get up every morning even though how tired you are?
Mainly, just want a better life for myself. I think, as we talk, a lot of things is within you. It's kind of you built for. You have an inner drive to want to be, a lot better. As we talk, we both played sports. You played football, I played basketball, right. And that discipline from getting up, going to practice, getting up, going to weight training, right. Wanting to be better, and so that kind of has overlapped into my latter years as being a personal trainer, as being able to know that discipline of getting up in the morning. Right. You got a goal for yourself. You want to be better healthy-wise, and you want to be better financially, and so you just stay committed to it.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of sacrifice. You miss out on things.
A lot. I know you miss out on a lot.
You can't stay up late. A lot of times, you got to get your rest because you got to be able to have that energy for your clients when you get here. And so it's a lot of sacrifice, but it's worth it because once you accumulate those years of success and you build on it, then your financial wealth accumulates as well. Your status accumulates, and so it's well worth the grind.
So you have been struggling to lose fat. You've been struggling to gain muscle. Well, check this out. I am here to save you today. If you want to know the 3 biggest mistakes that's keeping you from losing fat and gaining muscle, comment mistakes, and I'm gonna send you my free guide. It's free 99. You ain't gotta pay for nothing. This guide will help you get back on track and start making some changes today. Why wait till the last minute? We can start making progress today. Comment mistakes, and let's get it. Gotcha. So what would you say to a person that's not a morning person but want to become a morning person? If they don't have the background you had, but trying to make that transition, because it's a New Year's. So everybody trying to make these changes, right? Yeah. So especially people that want to become a morning person and want to get up early in the morning, work out. What could you say? What kind of advice could you give them?
And it's really, you got to do, working out in the morning, sometimes it's not for everybody. Right. You got to find the time that's best for you. Whatever time is best for you to get your, whether it be after work, whether it be lunchtime, you got to, whatever time you lock in is your time, that's when you want to do it, that's what you got to stay committed to. Everybody don't like getting up. I don't necessarily like getting up in the morning to work out. Right. But I have to get up to train clients. My preference of time is working out is in the evening time. That's when I have my most energy, in the evening time. And so it really just varies from person to person.
What you like best about training?
The relationships. The relationships you build with your clients. I can't tell you, it's countless amount of people that I've met over the years, changed their lives, changed their outlook on themselves, as far as like their confidence, their way of knowledge of being able to work out and self and improvement.
But some people, it's like therapy to them.
Oh, it's
so many ways,
therapy, because the one thing you'll notice is people are dealing with a lot of other issues than just, the health issue. The force, the fitness. There's a lot of other issues that really are driven that drives them to being out of shape, whether it be depression, whether it be family issues, whether it be could be an abusive relationship, it could be injury, it could be they're not doing good at their work, whatnot. Financials, a lot of things that are included and that go into a person not being in shape, you know. And so you'll learn that it's not just because they don't have a desire to want to. A lot of them just are succumb by other things that keep them pushed down, that they don't feel they got a way out to get themselves feeling better.
And that's a good thing that you said that, because sometimes as, fitness influencers and as trainers, we tend to forget that everybody ain't gonna be motivated.
Oh yeah.
And get in the gym wanting to better themselves, because they got a lot of things going in their life.
Yeah.
So what would you say, how could they solve that? You think the gym can solve that? If they going through depression, or they going through just not in the mindset of just, I don't want to just work out just to look good, but I need to do something I need an outlet to decrease this depression. Would gym be the best place?
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the options you can go to is for, because one, you gotta, it's a feel good, feel, you've heard the saying, you look good, you feel good, and so, that's part of it. It's a quick way, an instant way to get some growth. You go in, you go get, even if you're a beginner, you come in, you show up, you get on the treadmill, you do a little something, you go home, you feel good.
Right.
He's like, I kind of deposited some good things for myself, and now I feel like I've kind of added some stuff to my day that makes me feel good. So that's one of the starts for it. And then you just, the people that you meet, most personal trainers, you got a lot of trainers that I played basketball, they're like former athletes, but if you look at their past, a lot of them are, like, I was real skinny when I was growing up, and so growing up I had to really work on putting on muscle. So I had a coach. I didn't play football, but I had a football coach that basically dude, if you was to work out, get in the weight room, you can be a beast on the basketball court. I took that to heart. A lot of people didn't really work out back in the day when I was working out in the gym, so I took it to heart and just took it to another level. In my sophomore year, I just really in high school, I just really got into the weight room, and from that point on, I never stopped, because I saw the benefits of it.
Got you. Now, as far as the working out process, do you train every client the same? Or when I say the same, meaning the same workout? Oh
no, every client is different. I like customized workouts. I don't really do too many group sessions, because I like customized workout for each client. Everybody's dealing, I'm training clients from all different age brackets, from 14 to 70. So of course a 70-year-old is going to have to do something. They got a lot of miles on the body. They're not trying to do squats, and they're not trying to run sprints, anything like that. So you customize your workout based on that client's desires. If some clients want to lose weight, some clients want to get tone. In today's era, a lot of females want bigger butts.
Bigger butts.
So
you want that BBL shape without the BBL.
So you're doing a lot of exercise that targets, bigger legs, nicer thighs. So you just target your workout based on whatever the client needs are.
Now I'm asking you a question. Do you train women and males the same?
My goal on both of them, and my take on both of them, is I have the same approach. One, it starts off with being professional. I'm coming in, looking at, not from a standpoint, because she's a female, I got to give her extra attention, or he's a male, I got to give him, it comes in, okay, who's willing to want to come in and put in the work, because time is money, and time is valuable. So you come in, they paying for a session, you want to give them their money's worth, so your main goal is come up with a good workout, help them with their eating plans, try to be very influential in giving them advice on how to get away from all the things that are limited to them and prohibiting them from coming to the gym and being, focusing on self, and so that's kind of my take on it. I just really put emphasis on being accountable, coming here when you work with me, be willing to work hard, knowing that you're here to get to better yourself, and then whether it be a male or female, that's my approach.
What about the workout plan?
Now, women tend to tend to, like I said, have different workout plans. Some of the guys are sports orientated, so they want to do power lift and they want to do explosive lift. A lot of the women, they don't want to get the misconception of getting too big, but today's women lift.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
do.
They
Women
left,
starting
you know,
to take over in the
they
gym,
taking
man. I
over.
ain't
Like,
gonna
you know,
lie.
the guys got to step the game up.
Yeah,
So
they really
women,
do.
you know, they come in here. They're more. Some of them are more dedicated than the guys. You know, so you got to give them their credit. You know.
A lot, and see, that has changed over
Yeah.
the years. It's more women taking their body more serious
Oh,
than
yeah.
men. Why do you think it's
Well,
like that?
I think women are empowered now. You know, they're seeing that, you know, with, the benefits of it. You know, it went through a lot of phase back in the day when everybody wanted that slender build.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted the big boobs, whatever. So to me, they was
went to the
going with the
BBL
big boobs,
style.
whatnot. But then, you know, and it was looked down upon
Yeah.
and frowned upon for a lady to have a nice butt, nice thighs.
It
But
was,
now
yeah.
everybody's embraced it. You know,
Right.
everybody's embraced the look of looking strong, looking you know, fit, looking like you can take care of yourself. And so I think women are this new era is really for the woman. You know, she's, you know, with social media, what I think women have seen what their potential is and what their value is in this world and stuff. And I think it's a great platform for them to really, you know, take advantage of their value and what they bring to the table.
So do you think by them actually being empowered in this, it is the women era, do you think that kind of plays a big part in them creating a family, by them being so independent they got to the point where they really didn't feel like they don't need nobody?
Now we're going from fitness
Yeah.
to relationship. So
Yeah, we're going to dab a little bit in it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
on that aspect, you know, I think, you know, they know their worth, they know their value, you know, they know what they can bring to the table. They know that they're go-getters as well. You know, the fitness industry has just been one of those platforms and social media has just been one of those platforms that allow everybody to see
What's
them,
going on.
you know, what's going on. And as us being men are gullible to a lot of that stuff, and they really take advantage of the gullibility of men. You know,
they
and
do
so
it
you
every
can't
day.
knock them for that. You know,
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
You can see somebody that has a nice body but really don't have no talent.
Right.
But still, the gullibility of men is still going to be all up on there, you know. So, but then there's a lot of them that do have talent, that have, you know, that can work out, that bring something to the table.
Yeah.
So you just kind of got to, you can't get caught up into the smoke screens of things that go on social media, but you just got to really just know, be grounded and be more about yourself and know what you all about, you know.
Got you. So far as like, when the men in 2025, what could you say to improve them to take care of themselves more? Because as black males, we don't take care of ourselves like that. You know, we kind of like, I ain't gonna say the bottom of the totem pole, but we damn near there as far as health wise.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't take it that serious.
I think, you know, when you look at, you know, from a financial standpoint, you know, black men and women have to invest in themselves. It's all about investing. You know, you got to be able to invest in yourself. You know, one of the things I've always said, I can have, you know, broken down house. I can have, you know, my grass might not be cut, but I'm going to take care of me physically. You know, and I think, you know,
you're the most important person.
As long as you got yourself, as long as you have your health, as long as you have your mental health, you can always go get stuff. You can go get stuff. Once you've done it, you can go get it again. And so you keeping yourself up, and you can't hide behind, I got a nice car, or I got a nice car, nice home, or I got X amount of money in the bank or whatever. No, regardless of all that, you still got to be able to function as a person, still got to be able to be healthy, because if you don't have your health and your fitness, then all that stuff don't matter.
Right.
So you got to really be real conscious about keeping your health and making your health a priority. And I think as black men and whatnot, we wasn't grown up in our households. We wasn't groomed for that. We wasn't, you know, it didn't come natural for us. You know, we were athletes, and all that come natural. And so for those that are not athletes, those are the ones that we're a lot of times talking about, because athletes, you know, like I said, they're trained. You know, some of the best athletes. And so, but what about all those millions of people, the minorities that are not athletes, that have never worked out, that don't know about the benefits of health? Those are the ones that really need to kind of step the game up.
Yeah, gotcha. Now, Forrest, let's go to the meals. Now, I did some study on my end, but I'm gonna ask you, because you got 20 years of experience in this. If you eat 4 or 5 times a day, can you still lose weight by eating 4 or 5 times a day?
Yeah. So my experience on that is, and we've all seen it. It varies from person to person. There's no one set rule that's going to work for everybody. So you have to really go through different types of meal plan to see what works for you. You know, some people can eat, go all day without eating, and they still been able to maintain. They might eat one meal and they still able to maintain their look. Some people need 4 to 5 meals a day and whatnot to keep up, they sustain their energy. Some people go without eating, they start to gain weight because your body is holding on to that body fat, whatever, because you're starving yourself, whatnot. So it's really, you have to kind of play around and see what works for that person's body, because everybody's metabolism is different. Everybody's body types are different. So to say which one is the work, that you really have to get with that person, do an analysis of that particular person, see what their body type is, see what foods they're like, what body foods work well with their body, and then you build it from there. So I can speak on myself. Me personally, I eat probably 4 to 5 times a day. I get up in the morning. I like to have water when I first wake up in the morning. I like to drink water before I go to bed at night. That keeps me hydrated, and then I'm kind of drinking water throughout the day to keep my body hydrated. Secondly, I like to have either a protein shake if I'm in a hurry, because I'm up early doing things. I have me a protein shake, but I make enough of that protein shake to kind of carry me on through 10 o'clock to before lunchtime. And then I'll have my lunch, and then I'll typically have something in between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, because 5 o'clock is when I come to the gym and train. And I'm training clients. And so for me, I typically like to eat in spurts and keep myself in it, because I'm going so much, and I've noticed that when I don't eat according to my body's schedule, I typically don't have the energy that I want. I'm typically just a little bit tired. My lifts are not as strong, but when I'm filled up like I'm supposed to be,
you got kind of miss some meals.
Yeah, I'm good to go. When whatnot. So to your question, eating one meal, that may work for you, whatever, but you have to look at yourself and say, am I really, do I have the energy that I want throughout my workouts? Am I lean like I want to? And see if that's working for you in your direction that you're trying to go.
Yeah, I think it's kind of working good though.
Yeah,
because I don't eat breakfast. So I drink water up to 12 o'clock. That's my first meal.
Gotcha.
So after that, it may be some small. Yeah. But my biggest meal be at 6 or 7 o'clock, something like that. So.
And I think, and another thing, I think, as you get older, and as you do something, you might do something one year, it's also good to switch it up. Switch it up, because just like anything, your body gets used to it. So sometimes it's good to switch it up, give your body something new, whatever. Sometimes I go long periods of time without eating meats. I do a fast at least 2 to 3 times a year, where I just kind of clean my body out.
How long your fast be?
It typically, sometimes they fast, sometimes it's a 12-day fast, sometimes it's a 5-day fast. It just just depends on if I want to need something to really reset myself, to get myself back going. I always use it as a Kickstarter. Like if I feel myself kind of going off the cliff and not eating right, I use that to get me back on track.
What do you do for your fast? Do you drink nothing but water, or do you eat fruits?
It's a liquid fast. One of them that I do is a lemon cayenne lemon cleanse, and the other one that I do is by a company called D Herbs. It's a cleanse, and it's a 12-day cleanse, and it's a lot of pills involved, but you're only eating fruits and vegetables and drinking water throughout your whole 12 weeks, and then after that you kind of come off eating fruits and until you get your body back, your stomach back, digestive system back, you're accustomed to eating regular foods.
Gotcha. Okay. Now what would you say, how could a person become disciplined? If they're struggling with being disciplined, what steps can they take?
Discipline. How can a person become
I think you can teach a class on this.
How can a person become more disciplined? One, you got to have a desire to want to be better.
Yeah.
I think discipline comes with desire. If you have a desire, if you want something better, if you say, okay, I want that car, if I want that car, whatever, I got to work, I may have to work overtime.
Right.
I got to save some money, I got to cut back on some of my other spending. So all that requires you being committed to getting that car. So that requires discipline. So discipline basically is a afterthought of how much you want your desires. So if you want your desires enough, then you're going to be disciplined. A lot of times we're disciplined in the wrong way. We're disciplined in not working out, eating bad food, eating fast food.
I ain't thinking about that type of discipline.
So that discipline,
discipline though, because if you're doing religious,
it's discipline. So a lot of times people can be, everybody is disciplined, but it's just some people are disciplined in the wrong direction.
Right.
So people can't say they're not disciplined. But they just disciplined on the wrong things. So everybody has discipline. So it's not a matter of saying you just gotta push your discipline to the right direction.
Fast. Last but not least, what's the biggest risk you took in your life up to this point?
The biggest risk. The biggest risk. One of the biggest risks I took was, I was, as I told you, I was working, full time as a sales manager for a printing company, and I was at the point where I had kind of maxed out my tenure there. I feel like I had no room to grow, and I was just kind of burnt out. Honestly, I was just burnt out, and I saw the way that my training was going. And my training was starting to grow, and I was looking at a point in my life where I said I wanted to build my training business. But then, so I went to my company, like, look, I'm kind of, I like working here, but I've kind of maxed out my ceiling and whatnot, so I'm just gonna put in my 2 weeks notice. I was ready to go another direction. So, and what ended up happening is the company wanted me to stay. And so they made me an offer, so what do we need to do to keep you happy, to keep you to stay here and whatnot. And so what ended up, make a long story short, the company ended up giving me more money. They ended up giving me more flexibility to still do my training while I'm still with that particular company. And so it was a win-win for me. But if I had never took that risk of going to them to let them know that what I was doing, I would have never had that opportunity to do both. So now I'm basically doing both or whatnot. And then at some point, I still may do, but right now it's working. It's work. I'm getting the best of both worlds. I'm getting, my financial stability there at my company. I'm doing really great there. 6-figure job there. I'm working there, and I'm doing great in my training space and whatnot. So it's a win-win for me.
That's a blessing, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, cuz. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's the Risk Takers, and we'll see you next episode. Stay with it.